Hello there, it's Effie from the internet, from wrestling, and you are watching Cole TV.
Money, 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 money.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to our very special Money in the Bank 2024 prediction show. I'm XLJ, the OG, joined by my partner in crime, my brother from another mother who likes to play with toys. So they got Mr. Kennedy and Rob Van Dam, former Money in the Bank winners. We got Mr. B-Roll. How you doing, buddy?
What's up? These two guys know a thing or two about climbing the ladder and clutching that briefcase, and some cash-ins are epic.
Some not so much. But we still love you, Mr. Kennedy. Yes, it is WWE's Money in the Bank, man. And it's crazy to think it's like already here, man. I feel like we just getting over Clash of the Castle. Hell, we're just coming off Forbidden Door, but you know what? That's what we love about this world of professional wrestling. We're so spoiled right now as fans because we just got one huge show after another, my friend.
It's non.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's never. Hell, we even got an NXT this weekend, and it's gonna be awesome. But how excited are you for Money in the Bank, my friend?
Money in the Bank is always an exciting time because you want to know ultimately who's going to get that briefcase.
Who's gonna get exactly? I mean, it's like it's easily Money in the Bank is like one of the more exciting shows in WWE that they produce every year. A lot of people say it's part of the. You could argue it's the Big Five, and I think I'm right there with you. I think it is right up there with a WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, because you just never know what you're gonna get at Money in the Bank. And this year's Money in the Bank is exciting. So let's just get right into it and talk about this year's Money in the Bank. Which, first and foremost, is this like a giveaway, like of who's gonna win the Money in the Bank here? You know, I mean, it just seems kind of like.
I mean,
we're gonna talk about a little bit more, but
we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get in depth, but we're gonna save that for the end. But if you would indulge me for just a moment, sir, yes. I'm gonna do what I do best and do a cheap plug. You know. What makes Money in the Bank so exciting? Well, we talked about the history of Money in the Bank on Learning the Ropes, available here now on Cole TV.
That's right. And hey,
we were asked, would we rather win the Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank? And I, without hesitation, I said Money in the Bank. They were like, why? I can do it anytime.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, it could be WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. You can do anything you want
anytime.
To. The Money in the Bank. But it is going to be an exciting show this year. Let's get right into it and talk about the matches. Got 5 total matches lined up. And real quick, though, before we get into that, I want to say this. Are you enjoying like what WWE is doing right now with their they're still pay-per-views, damn it to me. I'm still going to call them that. But as far as like they're not over, like it's not overstuffed, like trying to watch like a million different, like 5 matches is a good, solid, I think 5 is good for a 3-hour pay-per-view. It gives time for the matches to like have their time as well as to kind of let them breathe as well, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you got 2 multi-people ladder matches.
Mm-hmm.
Those are going to take a little. I mean, those are going to take a little bit. Yeah, I love it.
But the only downside with this one, my friend, is it's in Toronto. Damn it, we can't watch it in the afternoon. So,
we're still in this side of the ocean, so it's
okay. It's all good in the hood. Well, let's talk about our matches here, and this is a big one coming up at Money in the Bank. We have got Cody Rhodes, your undisputed WWE champion, teaming up with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens to combat the Bloodline, which is stronger than ever especially after what happened on Friday Night SmackDown from Madison Square Garden, that insane moment where this bloodline kind of ascended into something like more just evolving into something sinister. Yeah, just I can't even put it into words. It's just so startling and terrifying. But I was intrigued by this matchup, but I am even more intrigued now with what is going to take place at Money in the Bank. Well, first of all, let me ask you this on this one. Which 3 members of the bloodline are we getting?
You know, that's what I was going to ask you, if you knew.
I don't know. I think we'll know more on Friday Night SmackDown. I feel like my heart tells me it's going to be Solo, Tama, and Jacob Fatu. But I don't know. We could easily get Solo, Tama, and Tonga, and then you could have Jacob Fatu as the corner. But I want it to be Jacob Fatu because number one, I think that's who all 3 of these guys are out and gunning for after what he did a couple weeks ago, laying them out in his debut. And number 2, I mean, let's go, man. I want to see Jacob Fatu in a WWE ring. And what better way of a debut than to be at the Money in the Bank in this massive 6-man tag?
I mean, I think one way, rest assured, Jacob Fatu will be involved somehow, whether he's in the match or not.
Yeah, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
But I'm with you. I hope he's in the match as well.
But I mean, this story that's going on, like, you know, with that's been going on with the bloodline. I mean, it's really like they have put the pedal to the metal in the past couple of weeks here, really, with it. And to me, it's like the bloodline right now. And we talked about this, I think, on PW60, where it was just kind of like, you know, Paul said, you know, a year ago, where we're in the 3rd inning of like Roman's, you know, this bloodline story, right? And I feel like this is like we're starting up this next chapter, and it's crazy to me to think of where it started and where we're at right now with the bloodline and this new, just like, man, these men are menacing. And I am an adult, and I'm willing to admit that they would make me pee my pants if I saw them coming around the corner right after me. Especially Jacob Fatu, man. God, the American or the Samoan werewolf is a bad mother trucker. Who do you think? How do you think this is going to go? Because I feel like, you know, there's a lot of rumors, and I believe where they're going with at SummerSlam is probably Cody against Solo for the WWE Championship. What do you think happens? How do you think it goes down in this matchup?
Yeah, so okay, here's what I'm thinking. So to select the winners, I think, trying to put words together, words are hard. I think the bloodline wins
because you're scared shitless of the bloodline.
Yeah, no, I think the bloodline wins, and it could be because of a numbers game. It's
definitely gonna be a numbers game.
Now, I don't know if this is where you were going, because you were talking about SummerSlam. I don't want Cody taking a pin here.
See, I think he does.
You think he does? You think Solo?
I think Solo pins him, and that sets it up for Solo and Cody.
I need buku amounts of like shenanigans, like.
Well, let me ask you this:
Jacob Fatu does like what he did in his debut, and then Solo pins him.
Yeah, that could easily happen. Let me ask you this: has Cody been pinned since WrestleMania? Even in like a tag match or anything? I don't think he has, right?
Probably not.
That'd be pretty huge if Solo pins him.
It would. It's just. It does set it up, but is that how they're going to book it? That's the question.
I 100% think, and I'm going with the bloodline to win this one. I also think that this match is going to accomplish several things. The big things going into SummerSlam, but I also think in this matchup, you're going to lay the seeds early on for maybe at the end of the year, I'm assuming, I think there's going to be a rivalry between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes too, because a lot of us were thinking that's what we were getting at SummerSlam was Cody and Randy. But I think now because of this, and here's the thing too, I really was wanting that, but what happened on SmackDown at Madison Square Garden? Like, I am fully invested on this in this new version of the Bloodline, seeing where the hell it goes. I want to see Solo against Cody.
Yep.
So
you want? I mean, I'm ready for it, and I think ultimately, I hope this match. I hope Jacob Fatu is in this match, like actually in the match, not just causing chaos halfway through the match or something. But yeah. I mean, ultimately, we know this is probably going to be absolutely crazy. They're classifying this as like a street fight, right? Or is it just triple threat?
As far as I know, it's just a 6-man tag. But they could do something like Bloodline rules or something. You never know.
It's gonna. If it doesn't, let me put it to you this way: if it doesn't get turned into a street fight, something on freaking SmackDown after the match starts, it's gonna get turned into a street fight. I'd almost darn rooting to it.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I mean, this is definitely one of the big matches I am really looking forward to at Money in the Bank come this Saturday in Toronto, man. It's going to be an awesome match. Speaking of awesome matches, let's talk about this one for your Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn putting it on the line against the menace that is Braun Breaker. Damn. This is I'm a little scared for Sami on this one, honestly, because Braun Breaker has been on a massive Raw on Monday Night Raw. I mean, he's murdering people. R.I.P. Ricochet. I mean, he is just literally like steamrolling all of Monday Night Raw. And Sami Zayn has been this awesome fighting Intercontinental Champion since he won that title at WrestleMania. But I got to ask you, B-Roll, does the buck run out come Saturday for Sami? How do you think it's going to go down with this matchup for the IC title?
This is a tricky one. It
really is.
One. Not going to lie. So we have Sami, who is somewhat of a hometown hero. He'll be in his home country at least, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Walk with me and talk with me here.
Okay.
I'm going on a bit of a stretch here. Fantasy booking right here, right now.
All right.
So I'm sure you've seen the stuff on the internet of one Mr. Knoxville. Harassing Sami Zayn again. Okay.
I'm following you.
So it's already been on socials this week that because Sammy's doing like a comedy show.
There.
Mm-hmm. And Knoxville put on his socials, I believe, that he has a flight booked there to Toronto or wherever.
See, I think he'll mess with them at the comedy show, but I don't think he's gonna. Are you saying he's gonna come out and like cost him the match or something?
Do you think? Could it happen?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, it could. It wouldn't shock me if it did, but
you know,
my thing is what good does that do Johnny Knoxville?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was my bad. I was looking at my Vince playbook. I need to be looking at my Triple H playbook. Okay. But yeah, I still don't know. Like, how's Sami gonna retain?
Well, here's my prediction. I don't think he retains. I think Braun Breaker wins the Intercontinental title. I think like WWE obviously has a hard on for Braun Breaker, and rightfully so, because I mean he is a big bad mamma jamma. I mean, dude, I was there at Stand and Deliver, and I'll never forget when he was running the ropes, and it was just like the ring shook. Like being ringside for that, like you could literally see and feel the ring shaking from the impact this man had just from running around. I mean, if he runs around ringside and hits him with that spear, it's game over for Sami. Sammy's been a great Intercontinental Champion. He's been a great run. Would I like to see it continue on? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know, man. I just don't think. I think this is going to be the start of the heir of Braun Baker at Money in the Bank. Now, I'm not going to be shocked if Sammy wins, but I don't know. I got this feeling in my gut that Braun Baker's walking out with that IC title.
You know what? I think without Johnny Knoxville getting involved, Braun Breaker wins the title.
Yeah, it just. I would love it. Like I say, I'd love if Sammy retains. I think you could get more out of this long term too if you do it. But I don't know, man. I just look at Braun Breaker, man. Like he's doing Steiner math all day. Like Sami Zayn has got about like 23 and a third percentage chance of walking out Money in the Bank. And when you take that and add it to Braun Breaker's 97.7%, it means Braun Breaker has about 137.333% of walking out of Money in the Bank as your Intercontinental Champion.
You know what? I bet when he's running around the ring, he's like reciting that in his head, doing Steiner math, like in his head.
Oh yeah.
That's how he knows how to like hit at the right time with just the right amount of impact.
But I also think outside of him winning this is going to be a huge opportunity for Braun Breaker too, being heavily featured on a big time pay-per-view, going after one of WWE's biggest titles, the Intercontinental title, and the lineage there and stuff. Yeah, this literally, no pun intended, is Money in the Bank, man. I want to see this matchup. I'm pumped for it, and I think it's going to be a hell of a matchup for the Intercontinental Championship.
Can I throw one
other
seed into this one?
Sure.
A seed that's been planted in this story. Braun Breaker said when this match was made, it started with he was going to I cannot think of names. Raw general manager cannot think of his name. Adam Pearce. There we go.
Adam Pearce. Okay. I was thinking, are you talking about Nick Alt? But you said Raw. Duh. Okay.
Yeah. So he said, I'm sick of people getting in my way. I'm leaving it at that. Maybe somebody does get in the way and cost him. Maybe
like
it's Johnny Knoxville. Maybe it's Johnny Knoxville. Maybe it's Sheamus. Maybe it's
you really want to see Johnny Knoxville at Money in the Bank, don't you?
Hey, this is wrestling. Anything can happen.
Yeah, good. Well, let's talk about our next matchup. We've got the WWE World Heavyweight Championship is on the line as Damian Priest is going to have arguably his biggest challenge to date to going up against the former champion, Seth freaking Rollins, who is back. A little surprised this match is happening so soon. Not so much so from a story, just the fact that Seth's already back and healed up, man.
Yeah, me too.
He surprised the heck out of us a couple weeks ago when he showed back up on Monday Night Raw.
True story. Sorry, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still thinking about the other match, and I'm thinking about what if Braun Baker spears like the midget, like is it Wee Man?
Oh dear God! Like you got to get all like you need after this prediction show. Go do yourself a favor and go watch Jackass and get your fill there, because it's not going to happen at Money in the Bank. If you get maybe
okay,
not.
Wee Man could come out and try to attack Breaker, and then Breaker just spears him. And I can just see like Wee Man like flying into like the fifth row.
Dear God. Well, it could happen. Never say never in the world of pro wrestling. But
hey,
seriously,
this is a prediction show. I'm giving you all kinds of different predictions of what I think could happen. Bet on me, Mr. B-Roll's parlay picks for WWE Money in the Bank.
Well, tell me about this one. Like, what are your thoughts on this World Heavyweight Championship with Damian Priest and Seth Rollins?
What are my thoughts on this one? Okay, like you were saying, surprise Seth is back. I don't think Seth beats Damian. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, I don't.
And we'll get into it. We'll get into it when we get into the men's Money in the Bank. But in theory,
Not to be confused
Drew
with Austin Theory.
Drew could win the men's and somehow be involved in this. In theory, not Austin Theory, but in theory.
Interesting. Okay.
So,
well, here's the big underlying thing in this one is the fact that the stipulations in it is if Priest loses, he is no longer a member of, or he has to leave the Judgment Day. I don't see that happening. I mean, the story of the Judgment Day is like them falling apart. You have like Priest, and stuff going on with him and Finn Balor, which I think that could very well be a match at SummerSlam. In all honesty, well, no, it can't be because we know the winner of this goes on against Gunther. So that's something else to keep in mind in the back of your head too. Because I mean, man, a Seth Rollins and Gunther matchup sounds pretty damn intriguing. Which now I'm fantasy booking in my head here. Have
they ever met?
It would make more sense. Has Seth and Gunther ever met? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe Priest has ever met Gunther too. I want to see Priest continue on as the champion because I think he's just now kind of find like his footing. Because I mean that was a hell of a matchup a couple weeks ago at Clash of the Castle against Drew McIntyre. Yeah. But I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking here, what if Priest loses, then we get Seth against Gunther, and then at SummerSlam you get Priest against Finn Balor, like because that seems like the next story.
Oh, you're saying?
I mean that frees him up. Yeah, it could happen. B-roll. It could happen. I think if like Gunther wasn't in the back, like I would too, but I would and I wouldn't, you know? Like I could see this I'm 50-50 on this one. It's just to me
coin, then, I guess.
How is it okay if Priest wins, how does Seth lose? Are we shenanigans? Is there like does he beat him clean? And also where does Seth go from here? So if you think about it logically on paper, I hate to say this, but it probably would make a little bit more sense if Seth won the belt back. But let me throw this at you. Is it going to matter really? Because whoever wins this, I think they're dropping it to Gunther at SummerSlam. I think Gunther's your next world champion.
Then that doesn't help Seth either.
Yeah, it doesn't. So what do we do
here?
It's an interesting thought process and a matchup.
The ultimate question is yes, we're drooling over the potential matchup of Seth and Gunther because that would be sexy. But and then we also know with the story that at some point Damian and Finn are what they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight at some point.
At some point.
But
does it have to be SummerSlam? No.
I'm thinking because I think they've got some new stuff cooking, maybe possibly. Like, aren't they like potentially maybe bringing back Bad Blood? Potentially. It's a pretty fitting title for maybe a Damian and Finn match, like pay-per-view.
Okay.
I mean, now we're like fantasy booking like way out there, like we're looking into the stars and like our crystal ball. But ultimately,
we're just like Papa H, we love that long-term book.
Yeah. If you want me to say who's winning this match, my gut tells me that Damian retains somehow, some way. I think Finn or somebody's going to probably get involved. I'm not going to say it's going to be why he wins, but could make him almost lose. But then maybe he still retains somehow.
Well, like I say, for me, I could literally flip a coin on this one, but I think I'm going to agree with you. I do think Priest is probably going to be likely to retain. But I'm telling you, folks, don't be shocked if Seth Rollins walks out. Money in the Bank, you're world heavyweight champion. It could easily happen. So,
hey, I mean, it's not like we keep a scoreboard on any of these things or anything. But maybe we should. Maybe we should have like a year-long prediction competition thing and
hey,
loser by
they do it on the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack
cheap plug. Check out the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack
every Wednesday night.
Every Wednesday night
over
on the purple site thingy.
That's the one.
Twitch.
But yeah, this is going to be an awesome matchup too. And like I say, I think out of all the matches on this card, this is the one where I'm truly like, I don't know how it's going to go, man. But I am excited to see what's going to happen nonetheless. But it's Money in the Bank. So let's talk about the namesake matches themselves. Not the $1 Million Man, but let's talk about Money in the Bank. Let's talk about the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, as we have all 6 of our combatants here who have qualified, winning individual triple threat matches. As on the Raw side, you have got last year's winner, Io Shirai, who will be in it as well.
Sky.
She'll always be Io Shirai to me, damn it. That's her real name. Suck it, Trebek. Io Sky. Papa H, can we just flip that? I mean, come on, man. But anyways, representing Raw, we've got her as well as Zoe Stark and Lia Valkyria. And on the SmackDown side of things, we've got Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Chelsea Green. This is an interesting 6. You a little surprised, but this is the 6 that's in this matchup?
Yes and no. First off, let me get this out of the way real quick and fast. WWE Photoshop people. The Zoe Stark added onto this photo looks absolutely terrible. Please,
do
your job.
Yeah.
So, but moving on. So there is a case for, you could say, a briefcase for, okay, Io Sky. Be super dope if she won back-to-back Money in the Banks. Don't know if it's going to happen, but Lyra Valkyria. Shot in the arm for her,
Up and coming talent.
Up and coming, super popular. Naomi, she's very close with Bailey. Could that be a potential story that we play out in the turning of their friendship to a rivalry? It's been done before. Zoe Stark. Excuse me.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I love Zoe Stark, but she is like the odd one out to me in this one. I don't. Yeah. I love her, but I don't think she has a snowball's chance in hell to win this matchup.
Yeah, she's the one I'm like, okay, it's hard to make a case for her. Now, let me get to my 2 that I'm actually choosing between, and that is Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton. Both, I feel, could do so much with this. It could do so much for their characters, everything. Now I have to choose.
I think there's several things you're going to accomplish in this matchup. I am in agreement with you. I think the 2 I'm wanting to see is either Tiffany or Chelsea Green. I'm really holding out that Chelsea Green wins it. Here's a scenario for you. You get Tiffany Stratton, because I think also the other thing you can accomplish in this matchup is let's build on an up-and-coming rivalry that has a lot of potential. Tiffany Stratton and Lia Valkyria. I mean, they are the next generation in the women's division, I think.
And they already did have a very good, short but good rivalry in NXT.
So we can continue on with that, the next chapter, if you will. I would have it down to those 2. They're up on the ladder, beating the shit out of each other, whatever. They knock each other off. Everybody's out. And then Chelsea Green comes in and just sneaks in and grabs the damn briefcase.
Kind of steals
That's
that.
what I want to happen. But I think at the end of the day, I said this from day one, and I'm still sticking with it. It's Tiffy time. I think Tiffany Stratton walks out with the woman's Money in the Bank.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I was gonna say, yeah, and I think she cashes in at SummerSlam, but then I realized that the Minneapolis SummerSlam is until 2026, so she won't be able to hold the briefcase for that long. So,
oh yeah.
But I'm right there with you. Okay, I'm rooting for both, right? I'm rooting for both.
I'm also rooting for Lia Valkyria too. I'd love it if she won.
Who am I going to be like more excited? Like if they win though, it'd be Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
I think. But my prediction, I do think I will have to agree with you. I think it's Tiffy time.
Yeah. I think so too, my friend. I don't know. I can't. The WWE is high up on her, and rightfully so. She's a tremendous talent. So
I want a freaking pink, bedazzled Money in the Bank briefcase.
It would be a pretty snazzy briefcase, I imagine. But all right, that's the woman's side of things. Let's talk about our last matchup here on Money in the Bank. Your men's Money in the Bank matchup this year, and it's a tremendous 6 we got in here. We've got on the SmackDown side of things, LA Knight, along with Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. And then on the Raw side, we've got Jey Uso, Chad Gable, and the last to get in, Drew McIntyre. There's a lot of stuff going on in this one, man. Like there is
a lot of stuff.
3 different stories really going on with like guys in this one, man.
And then Andrade.
And then I'm sorry, I like Andrade. Each one of these matches have that one person that I truly think's got like no snowballs hells of chance of winning this. And the men's side, I think it's Andrade. Carmelo would be dope, but I don't think they're gonna pull the trigger just yet. I'd be happy as a pig in shit if they did, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Can you remind me, are Carmelo and Andrade on the same brand or no?
They are.
Maybe in this matchup we could start a rivalry between them. Nice little mid-card rivalry. I don't know.
Maybe.
Basically, we don't think either one of them's going to win it. I think it'd be cool if Melo won it, but I mean, what if he won it and then he went in and cashed in on Trick? That'd be kind of crazy.
Oh, on NXT? Well, yeah. That's true, because
they
haven't really specified and say, okay, you're on this brand, you have to cash in on this brand. I mean, you can, the Money in the Bank, you can cash it in whenever, wherever, however. So
I don't think it's likely, but it could happen. This is wrestling.
Oh yeah. But I mean, let's talk about so the storylines we got going on cooking. We've got Chad Gable is up to here with the Wyatt 6 stuff. So I'm sure there will be involved in this in some capacity. We got LA Knight in this rivalry with Logan Paul. You can damn sure bet Logan Paul's probably going to be involved in something on Money in the Bank. Because I mean, I think honestly, if the guy that's the hottest, there's 2, you can make a claim for somebody else, but I think LA Knight is one of those guys who's long due, and this would be like a perfect thing to give him and shoot him off into the stratosphere. But I think there's somebody else.
With Logan Paul, yeah.
But that they're going to go with, and also the feud with Logan Paul, and I think eventually,
and the fact that he
wins the U.S. title,
and the fact you're probably buying me dinner, so
I guess. And Drew, I mean, you gonna tell me you don't think CM Punk's gonna be there? Come on, man. If Punk cost him in his home, in his hometown, you can damn sure bet he's gonna be. It's a shorter flight to Toronto. Like Punk. Now I don't know if all of those guys get involved in this. I kind of think they will. But then that leaves the guy who's on the poster, for God's sakes, main event Jey Uso, man. Which
And like here's the thing. Like I sit here and I'm like, I try to talk myself out of it, right? It's like it's too obvious, right?
right.
It's but everything we just went through, right? We pretty much said we don't think Andrade or Mello win it. We think it'd be cool if Mello won it, but we don't think they do. And then the three other guys have stories going on. Jey Uso doesn't really have a story. He's just kind of...
This is his story. This is the start of his story and his rise to the main event. He's arguably one of the hottest talents in WWE today. Makes a lot of sense. Like I say, if LA Knight wasn't involved in this rivalry with Logan Paul, I'd say him. But I think main event Jey Uso is gonna win this Money in the Bank and become your new Mr. Money in the Bank.
For me, I think I can firmly get it down to it's either Drew or Jay. I think that's.
See, I got down to Jay or LA Knight. It's the two I got it down to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Drew coming anywhere near winning it because I mean he's too far gone in this rivalry with Punk, and also too. I mean I don't know, he's had the world title and like I don't see him winning it. I actually, this is going to be a bold prediction, but I'm going to go ahead and state it. I would be just as shocked if Drew win it as if Andrade would win it. I don't see Drew winning this.
Why do you hate Drew McIntyre?
I don't hate him. To me, it doesn't make sense.
It sounds like
he's going to get another chance at the world title and to get it cost. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
But it could happen. It could happen.
Something I just kind of noticed though with the people in this matchup. Yeah. And it's yes and no. Drew is probably the least amount of a high flyer out of all of them on there.
Well, LA Knight's pretty grounded too, but yeah.
I know, but we know Andrade can do the lucha stuff, and Chad Gable's a freak, and we know Mello can do all sorts of crazy stuff. But Logan Paul's going to cost LA Knight. So do you have Logan Paul cost LA Knight, and then you have CM Punk cost Drew, all in the same match? And the Wyatt Six cost Gable?
Yeah, that's the thing. Does that happen? I don't know if they go with that much stuff. Let me ask you this: if Wyatt Six wasn't involved, I mean, Chad Gable's on the roll of a lifetime. Would you be shocked if Chad Gable won this thing?
What if the Wyatt Six help him win it for some reason?
Now that wouldn't make sense. But
I don't know.
I could see him.
Ultimately, all this fantasy booking, just to say, you eat in the bank. I think Jay wins.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, you could go down the road. Let's say Drew wins it and like does his thing with Punk and stuff, whatever. That, like, to me, that makes sense. But it could happen.
Now, something you could do to make the match a little less chaotic, you could have the Wyatt Six take out Gable before the match even begins. You could do that.
Okay, yeah, that could happen. You never know. I don't know though. I think he's going to be in it though, because I mean, I think this is a big moment for him too. So. Yeah, nonetheless, it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down at Money in the Bank, because I mean, I think there's so many different stories going on here that's going to lead into SummerSlam ultimately. So, you know what? It. Oh, here we go.
I know what I want Punk to do. I know what I want him to do.
All right, what do you want him to do?
Hear me out. I want Drew to be at the top of the ladder, getting ready to get the briefcase. Boom. Call to personality hits, right? Drew hesitates. Starts to step down from the ladder and head towards the ramp. And then one of two things. Either Punk pops up on the screen in like the what I want to call it, like the truck, like the video truck or whatever, and he like queued up his music or something, or just that it's literally just like a troll job and he like wasn't even there, but that would need like some more explanation. That would be. I could see that. He's up there getting ready to grab it, and boom, Colt's personality.
I'm glad you went with that scenario. I thought for a minute you were going to go back to your Jackass stuff. I'm going to say, oh, Johnny Knoxville shows up with Chris Pontius, and he becomes Money in the Bank.
He could.
Oh, dear God. I think you're reading that other... I think you're reading that other playbook, my friend, from some old fuck. But anyways... But yeah, nonetheless, like I say, Money in the Bank, it's always an exciting show. This is going to be an exciting matchup because, like I say, there's so many different stories going on here. In closing here on our Money in the Bank prediction show, let me ask you this. Do you think we get any cash-ins that night?
No.
I don't think so either. I think Papa H loves that long-term storytelling, and that's been so redundant as far as like doing the freaking cash in that the same night. Now I will say this.
Now, if let's see if we're gonna say the same thing. If the men's match is first and Drew wins,
yep.
Yeah.
If the men's match is first, then I could see, okay, Drew could possibly be winning this. I could see that. I don't think it's gonna happen, but you never know.
Every scenario covered in our heads.
I think
any of my crazy predictions come true, I'm buying a lottery ticket.
You should, as you viewers at home should do as well.
Money.
Well, let's go wrap it up for our Money in the Bank prediction show. We want to thank you so much for joining us here. And join us all week here on Cole TV as it was our 4th of July week. And hey, if you haven't done so, go back and watch replays of TW60, Learning the Ropes, as well as our brand new episode of The Hunt on Hobbytown, as well as Mr. B-Roll when he went to go to Emerge Championship Wrestling. So check all that out. And we got so much amazing more content.
All right, I have one last prediction. I think Mr. Kennedy comes back and is inserted into the Money in the Bank match. He wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he gets his redemption story with a successful cash-in that night.
All right, you need to go off and play with your toys and watch your Jackass. So, nonetheless, thank you all, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And everybody enjoy Money in the Bank.